everyone, it's Melanie and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to do a color theory post and I'm going to talk about the color Marsala, which is the Pantone Color of the Year for 2015. I have done Pantone Color of the Year videos for the last 2 years. So I have one from last year, which was Radiant Orchid, and then the year before that, which was Emerald. So I really enjoy color theory. I have an art degree. I have a Bachelor of Arts in art history, actually. So this is something that really interests me, and I really love color theory and thinking about color. And so I thought I would do a post today on the color Marsala, which is the, as I said, Pantone Color of the Year for 2015. I thought this was a really interesting choice, especially when you look back at the history of the colors. They've been a lot more vibrant than this color is. I pulled out everything that I have that could be kind of considered a Marsala color. I think probably my dress is a little bit more Marsala than my hat. My hat's more of a burgundy maroon, but I think a lot of people are going to interpret this color as a more maroon burgundy color because it's a little bit more accessible color, but really Marsala is an earthier red. So I thought I would just read from my iPad here from the Pantone website kind of what their version of Marsala is. So they say, a naturally robust and earthy wine red, Marsala enriches our minds, bodies, and souls. I feel like Marsala is a hard color to initially think of. I have some Marsala right here that I had in the cupboard. This is Marsala cooking wine. It's a browner wine color, not necessarily a wine like you would normally think of. So this is definitely the color that they're talking about, but it really is an earthy red. I personally think rose brown, red mahogany, or earth red would maybe have been a little bit more descriptive than the word Marsala, but based on what they're going for, Marsala is a very descriptive word, especially since they're trying to really convey this feeling of organic earthiness, that feeling of stability that brown has. It's a very stable color. Brown is often associated with hearth and home and this sort of stability of the earth, of the dirt underneath it. So the psychology that goes along with it is a really interesting thing to think about, and I really envision this as more of a fall color, but they have it as one of their spring colors. The thing I kind of want to talk about, especially as a crafty person, if you're going to be thinking about using this color or even using colors like this in your work, in your quilts or sewing or clothing or anything like that. This color is a real rich color when it has a little bit of iridescence or shimmer to it. The flat way, kind of like it's shown in the Pantone, like the color swatch. I don't know if you can kind of see that there. It's very muddy. I feel like it's a muddy color is kind of a good way to describe it. And not necessarily negatively, but kind of a flat color. Now, my dress is made out of a knit, and so it has that variation in color. My nail polish has a shimmer to it, and so that kind of creates more depth. The thing about the muddy colors, and I have some examples here, the muddier colors, I'm just using that term for lack of a better term, but just to sort of illustrate that those subtle colors underneath can really help the bold colors pop, right? So here is an example. I'll get a close-up. This heart is surrounded by a muddier color, and I think that heart pops a lot more because it's got this sort of secondary, this sort of like background supporting role that is the muddy color. So these kind of colors are very, very important when you are talking about design. Here's another example. These are all Anna Maria Horner colors. She uses this a lot in her designs, this sort of muddier color in order to make some of these brighter colors pop out. So the other thing I wanted to mention really quickly is sort of how you pair this color with another color. If you don't know a lot about color theory, it might be kind of tricky. You might just think, oh, I could pair it with black. And of course this color would look great with black. A lot of colors look great with black. But I kind of wanted to just show you the color wheel and just sort of give you a basic idea of how you could pair this color with some other colors. So here's our color wheel here. I'll try not to have too much glare on it. But colors, so if you look at this color wheel, it's showing you the shades here. So where it's getting darker. So our color is maybe around in here. So if you take the color red, which is basically what Marsala is, it's a darker red, an earthier red, you go across the color wheel to a green. So you would have like maybe a dark green, a hunter green, that kind of thing would be the complementary. Now, if you didn't want to do that, that's very, that's a kind of a predictable color scheme. Maybe you think of kind of a lodge or something like that with those two colors together. You could do a split complementary color scheme, which would be the colors on either side of the green. So in this case, it would be the blues and the yellows. And that would be a darker blue, not quite a cobalt, a little bit darker blue, and like an amber. And there's an amber color in my necklace. And so those are two great colors to pair with this. And there is a rhyme or reason to it, which is the great thing, is that you can kind of recreate these things. I'll pop up some of the pictures that Pantone was using as their promotion with this really great blue and an amber color. There's beautiful colors that will go with it. The other color scheme that you could do is a monochromatic color scheme, which is like the same color, just the lights and the darks in that same color. Or you could do an analogous color scheme. An analogous means 3 colors next to each other on the color wheel. So red, you would want to maybe do like an orange, the orange and the purples, that all those warm kind of colors. Well, purple isn't really very warm, but those kind of colors that are next to each other. So a coral, I think a coral color would really pop against this Marsala color, and also the ambers again, and some pinks, some like mauvier colors, things like that. So anyway, I love color theory. I just think that it's so fun, the psychology of color. Let me know what you guys think of Marsala, about this earthy wine, this sort of culinary experience that maybe comes to mind when you think of this color, or that stability of the earth, but also the kind of exciting and passionate and invigorating red that is also within it. So I personally really like this color when it is with some sort of iridescence or some depth to it. The flat color itself doesn't appeal to me too much. I see how it could be used with other colors to make other colors really stand out, and I appreciate that about it. But I kind of like the depth, in the jewel tone, the color of my dress. I'll show you a full picture of this dress, but I think this dress is really pretty. A little bit more of a wine color, and you're gonna see that it's gonna be in every range from like a wine red to a dark purple, maybe with a little bit of the brown in there, is going to be kind of considered Marsala for this season. So tell me in the comment section below the video what you think of Marsala, the color of the year for 2015 as Pantone sees it. And any other questions, any other details will be in the about box underneath the video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!